A warm welcome to everyone who has joined us here at x-dream.events. This is one of our demo days, and in this very session we are focusing on rights management, content rights management, program scheduling, campaign management, ad sales. And this is done with our partner Bright Media. And here with me in the auditorium, remotely connected, is Peter from Bright Media. A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Stefan. It's a pleasure coming back again on the platform. And this time, of course, we would love to share with you our ideas, our modules, and all that we have on BMS BOSS.
Great. Thank you so much having you with us again, and especially that it's a little bit later with you today already.
That's okay.
So before we jump into the demo, let's set the context a little bit. So as I said already in the opening, we are now looking onto definitely what I call the business layer. So as a business, as a media organization, you spend money on acquiring content, and obviously you want to make money, and for that you need applications. BOSS, BOSS is one of those. It helps you in managing all the rights that you have acquired, managing the content as it is coming in, and especially running all the scheduling for campaigns, for the linear playout, and what is also very important, all the sales for advertisement that goes along with that.
Correct. Yeah.
Peter, let's look into things more in practice. And let's start the demo from a very high level at the very point of view. BOSS consists from a number of modules. Could you please give us an introduction what those modules are?
Certainly, Stefan. Firstly, what BOSS does, BOSS stands for Broadcast Scheduling System. Okay. It manages all the content. It doesn't acquire the content. The content would be acquired by the channel, and we would manage it in BOSS. So now, if you see my dashboard, this is a dashboard which has all the modules. It's all under one platform. So we have called acquisition or contracts. We've got planning. In planning, we've got prime time planning, and non-linear planning. We've got scheduling. We've got sales. Sales includes your agency, client, campaign, booking, credit control, etc. We've got billing. Billing, again, this can be integrated with the local finance team. We've got media management, and the media management modules are included programs, movies, series. Ideally, this contains all your metadata. We've got dynamic secondary events. We've got supervisor, wherein your backend things can be managed, and we've got dynamic reports, and reports of all kinds that we customize as per the client requirement. Thereafter, we also have thumbnails over here. So rather than going back over here, if you would like to see as to how many programs are there currently with the channel, so I just go over here and I see that there are 36 programs over here. I've got 233 movies. I've got 215 series. So rather than going from media management, I quickly can go right from programs, select movies, and it takes me directly to that module. And down over here, it shows me all the number of programs and movies that are there. So basically, this is an end-to-end solution, right from media content management to reconciliation or as runs, Stefan.
Great. So let's take it step by step and let's look into the modules one by one. I think it all starts with the acquisition of content rights. Either as you had someone else producing for you, or you are producing yourself, but it's all about spending money for acquiring content.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it ends up with a right that you now own, not already yet the actual essence, but the right. And I think it starts that this information needs to get imported into BOSS. How is this done?
Definitely. So the first, in any channel, the first thing that we do is acquire the content rights. So as you rightly said, it can be produced in-house, or you can purchase the rights outright. So if you're purchasing the rights, I would do the entries in acquisition or in contracts. The first step is I open that contract. So this is where the entries are made. These are all the entries that are already there. Let's say I want to create a new entry. So I create a movie, so I give it a contract number. If it's a group, so channels can be either a single or it can be a group of channels. If it's a group, the group name will reflect over here. The license, who the licensor is going to be. The licensee, of course, would be the channel. And I would say create new. This is, of course, a one-step thing, a one-time entry that you need to do. Can you suggest a movie for me, Stefan? Any movie.
Any movie. And you're challenging me. I'm not really a specialist in movie. You need to help me.
Okay.
Let's say the last James Bond.
The last?
The last James Bond that came out.
Oh, the last James Bond. I'm not good at that. Which one would that be? Let's see. Octopus. I don't know the last one, but I know the old one. Octopus, I think. Was this correct? Let me just check. No. What was Firewire? Okay. Can you suggest the name? We know the remember the name.
Tja.
Okay, no worries. One sec. Let me do James Bond movies.
I'm doing the same Googling.
No Time to Die. Okay, let's do No Time to Die.
Okay, Control Room 2 has helped us.
Okay, so this is the name of the movie that I've selected. Okay, if this information is available online, I can fetch all the details by selecting Content DB over here. So what I've got is I've selected the name of the movie. I get all the information because this movie is available online. So I got my title, I got the duration, I've got the year. Very surprising, it's this year. Oh, only in theaters in October. I got the action adventure thriller. I got the language. I got the cast, and I also got the synopsis over here. Is this a new movie? I was not aware there were new movies of Bond in 2021. So what I do is once I get this information, I save it. So all the information gets populated. I've got No Time to Die. The genre is selected, the type is selected. It's a movie. I've got the acquisition date. By default, the acquisition date is the current date. I've got the start date as well for today. I want to do the end date. So let's say I do it till December 31st. Yes, I can do it till December 31st, or I can select another year and let's go to December 31st of January 2022. Now, since I've bought the rights, I also have the option whether I'm selecting exclusive rights. Now, when the content producer sells rights, he sells it to multiple channels. So you can decide whether you want exclusive rights or you do not want. So if I want exclusive rights, I select the dates over here. Let's say from the 10th again till the 31st of December of the current year. That means I've got exclusive rights for this content during this period, even though the producer or the content owner has sold it to multiple channels, they will not be able to air it during this period because I may have paid premium for this. So I've got exclusive rights for this period. What is the amount that I'm purchasing the rights for? I can mention that over here as well. Which currency I'm using it, I can mention that. So this can be configured at the back end, so I do not have to do this. So here, by default, I've got the original language and I've got the dub language as French. Then the territory, whether it's international, local, or national. If I say national, it will. If I say international, I get all the territories over here. So let's say I want it in the USA. Oh, you said London. Let's do London. So I've done it in London. How many runs and repeats I want? How many? That depends again on your contracts. But if I say I want unlimited runs and repeats, I've got a free hand. I select that. My duration by default has come over here. It's 2 hours 43 minutes. My sensor rating is also come over here, and all I need to do is select on save. Once I've saved this, one moment. Sorry, I release it. I save it. Now I have the next step that I've got is open deal. Over here, all the information that I've entered is all mentioned over here. Now you see on top, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes over here. there's one more box which has to be which has to come over here. That will be entered, will be created once I select content, I select movie, and I say release. See over here, now you get my thumbnail. I also get my content box populated over here, which by default my house number is also created. I do not have to do anything extra. So this is all configured in the back end, wherein my house number is auto-generated. I do not have to do anything. Next to that, so this is all about acquisitions or deal entries. Now there is more to that in addition to what I've told you.
Let me quickly ask you, what would be the difference if I'm importing a series instead of just a single movie?
Yes, so I can do that as well. So let's say I can do that in media management now. Let's say I have a series. Which series comes to mind if you look at multiple seasons? Do you have any series in mind?
Like The Simpsons, something very old.
Okay, Simpson is something that I do not have. So I'll say create new. I select Simpsons. I type in Simpsons rather. Again, I go to Content DB. I've got the Simpsons here. It's 22 minutes. I save it. Okay, now here by default, it's selected the series. Now it tells me starting episode is one, number of episodes. How many episodes are there in this? So if I do not know, I just go to Simpsons again. I just want to find an episode of Simpsons.
And there will be some 100 or 100, not sure.
So let's see season 1. Season 1. So there are around, how many episodes are there? Episodes. It's 13 episodes. Okay. So this is because I do not have information. So I said starting episode is 1, number of episodes is 13. I select 13. Again, I can select the end date over here. What is the duration? So it's 31st December. It's a paid, so I say how much, $10,000, just for example. Currency, it is selected South African rand because this is here, so I select dollar if I want to change it. Exhibitions, say I say want 10 exhibitions and repeats. Let's say I want 5. My duration, what time I want it played in a week. Every week I want it to be played. The duration is auto-populated over here. The licensee is test. The content is series. And I say release. Season number cannot be MP. So in case I'm missing out on anything, the system alerts you saying, okay, Peter, you're missing out on this. This has not been entered. Can you do the entries? Again, here tag code is missing. So I say that 482. And I release. So whenever I do something, here, playtime cannot be empty. And what I've done, I've not mentioned the playtime. So it's 4 times a week. I select that and I release it. Again, over here, the reference contract number. Okay, I just copy this.
That's good to see that you cannot do anything wrong. The system keeps
yes, so
you
now
from
finally,
wrong.
Finally, The Simpsons has saved successfully. Here it is, The Simpsons released successfully. So once this is released, this is there in your database that everybody can view it. So I've got my deal right. So the next step in this, of course, now the content information is entered. Now, if I've got multiple channels with me, I want to share the right with other channels as well, because that is how the deal was signed. So I can do that over here. I can create new, and whom do I want to share it with? I want to share it with test 2. From what date to what date, that can be mentioned over here. What is the budget and the number of exhibitions that you have. Now, of course, the number of exhibitions would only be what you purchased. For example, you purchased 10 exhibitions, you can only share some of it. You cannot say, okay, I've got 10, I will share 10 with test 2 as well, or the other channel as well. If you've got 10, you've used 5, you can share 5, something like that.
And so, yeah, this is made for media groups. But what about the rights, for instance, for non-linear usage, like on a video-on-demand portal? Is it also managed here?
So, yes, absolutely. So here, so we'll go a step back. So we've come over here. So when you purchase the rights, you say, I want to give the rights to non-linear as well. Let me take you back over here. Edit. So here we've got your non-linear rights over here, non-linear titles. I select this. I want to create a new one. I create here. I have got over here. So no place to die, no time to die. So I've got no time to die. I want to give rights to this one. I select this. Okay, what are the dates I want it from? I want it from 10 December, 0 hours to 31st December. I just want it till this end of the day. Number of downloads, I say 100 times. Now, the original cost, what is the original? If this has to be entered, you can enter this. If not, you can leave it blank. And the current value, what is the current value? I put that. Which currency I'm using it is US dollars. Now, which platform do I want it on? Now, there are multiple platforms. So Roku is used in South Africa. Netflix is all over. In-flight Qatar Airways. So I can select all three or I can select one. Now, what are the categories that I want? I've got multiple categories over here. I've got trending, subscribe, recently added, most viewed. So let me just take two of those, subscribe and recently added. Which languages do you want it in? I would say English and say French. I would say international, digital, and XDcam. And thereafter, I just add this. And so here I've got in Netflix, I've got subscribe, English and French, and then recently added English and French, and I say save. So when I am now going to plan this non-linear planning, I will be able to see this as well.
I see. So far we have just spoken about acquiring the content rights. So earlier or later, I think we'll receive the actual content. What I've learned from our session last week is that obviously the content is not stored in that planning system, but what happens when we receive the content? Is there information given to boss as well?
Yes. So what we do is a lot of time it happens that we already do the planning. Okay. And the actual content arrives maybe a month later or 15 days later or maybe 2 months later. So what is done in the back end boss is integrated with your MAM. It's integrated with your Playout. So there's a handshake done. ID is given to each and every content. So when it comes, there's a handshake already done. So it's already integrated. So that content will be identified in boss.
I see. So it's mainly that the media asset management system or the archive management system would learn from boss that information that was prepared already in advance.
They will talk to each other.
Okay. Now, as you just touched on the topic of creating the material, providing the material as video on demand, probably want to go ahead with that. What would happen if I would like to place a content on a video on demand portal? So
this video on demand. So of course, when you say video on demand, you would be talking about platforms which already you have tie up with, right?
Yeah.
Or would it be something that suddenly you have a tie up with Netflix, but you want to put it on Amazon? It would not be the case.
Now, for the moment, let's assume it's my own video on demand portal where I publish to.
Okay, so all we need to do is when you have a video on demand, we can have something over here like platforms, like select categories we have. So we can actually add over here AVOD, VOD, SVOD. We can have all that also over here. And then accordingly, the categories, we can have that and we can then push it accordingly. In fact, for one of the channels, we are working on it. So because they want to put it on Prime.
I see.
So we're integrating with that as well.
So this might be then a scenario where we are in a, let's say, subscription video on demand, an SVOD. But beside this, there's also AVOD. And when we look towards the linear Playout, linear programming, there's obviously also on-air advertisement. Let's move on a little bit towards the sales side. How is boss supporting advertisement sales business?
So now we're talking about sales. So in sales, so let's move to sales. I'll cut this short away because this has much more features, and we can touch on it at a later date.
Unfortunately, we need to, otherwise it would run over time.
No worries. So sales covers the multiple modules. It covers your agency. So of course, with agency, this is a one-time entry that is done. It's not that every time you have to do an entry. So this is the end. We're talking about sales. So sales, if I select on an agency, I've got the name of the agency. I've got the abbreviation. I've got the agency type. But what type is it? It's an agency. It's a competitor. It's a distributor. Whatever it is. So if there is something else, we can add it over here. We can just say like, sorry, so I can, if so for example, if there is something that is missing over here and I do not want to go to the back end, I can just put my cursor over here and I say insert, and I can then add the description of the agency, the type of agency that is we are looking for. If it's not available in this drop down, then you have your location, you have your currency, and all the information that is required for the agency. Then similarly, we also have client. So just take the client. The client, everything else is the same. The only difference in client is you also have an executive. So we have the executive over here, which can be added over here. And in case this client already has an agency, so I can add the agency as well over here. And I say agency, add the agency. Which agency is there? I can select one and I say okay. And this will be linked to this client as well. So that option is also available over here. Thereafter, whatever bookings that you're talking about, like sales, now we spoke about this in the past as well. Now agencies send you bookings. So you can get multiple bookings from agencies, or you can get bookings from clients as well. So what I can do is I have a format over here. I've got a booking here. Let's show you this. So let me say, so this is my booking platform, wherein all the bookings that are there, which have come from sales agencies, can be imported. But before that, let me show you an import that is there. So this is how my run order looks like. This is a sample, rather. So this is how my run order looks like. This comes from the agencies. So I've got my spot rate, I've got the time, I've got from and to, and I've got the duration. If I want to change anything over here, so say for example at this stage, I do not want it, I want 5 spots, I've changed the spots over here and I save it. So this is for the month of December 2021. Let's go to campaign now. So I've got booking over here, so I select the campaign. Let's say Peter's campaign I've selected. I select December. It's test, Peter's commercial, order type, I would say commercials, position, I would say opening, and I import. So this is one thing is when I do it directly and I want to import it. Excuse me. So here, what I have done is all the import, this which was available, what the arrows which are there, I've imported everything over here. I've selected all and I've updated this and I save it. This is one way of doing it wherein all the arrows have come from the agency directly. Now let's say the agency has not sent you the arrow, the client has sent you an arrow. So I say add, and now I want to add is test 2 from the first, let's say I want it from the 10th of December till the 15th of December. Just an example. What is the type? It's run on day part. So I'll say, let's say it's sponsored. It's free. Order type is commercial. Rate per 10 seconds is 0. Spots per day. Now we also have the option over here. Do I want to add spot on a daily basis or do I want to add it on a weekly basis? So you have both the options. So let me say I select per week. I want 4 spots. And I want from 12 to 8 a.m. Position, I would say I want it last. I want it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I want to add one more over here. But firstly, let me also select a commercial that goes with it. I've selected this commercial and I say multiple. Peter's commercial. So here it tells me that this particular commercial is not valid for this duration. So let's select another one. Let's see over here. Okay, this is also not valid. I have to select another campaign altogether. Okay, none of these are valid. So here I'm getting, oh, this is channel test 2. My apologies. Okay, I selected the wrong channel. So that here you see this, it's added. I've added initially I was the wrong channel. Now I want to add one more. So I can do that. I can select say 17 to the 31st. I will change this to run on day part. I will change it to paid. I'll change it to rev share. Commercial. So 1,500. And I want it per day. I want one. And I do not want these. I want the first two. And I'll take it from 12 to 2000 hours. And I'll select all. I want it on all the days of the week and I add. So here all the second two lines are added and I can then save it. If there is a line number 24 commercial is not valid for the selected channel. So I can take that off. Once I save this, I can also export this. Export current. And this is how it will look like.
For my understanding, is that something that someone would do at the channel side in the sales position for the agencies, or is it more like a self-service portal for the agencies that they can book themselves?
No, this is something the channel would do, but of course the agency would tell them, excuse me, the agency would tell them, okay, I want this commercial during this period, and it has to be so many times. So this is something, the run order that I showed you earlier, the agency fills it up and sends it. That either the agency can send that sheet, because the agency needs to tell us wherein they want the commercial to be placed. Because some commercials would have higher value and some commercials would have low value. They would want to be played at prime time and non-prime time as well. So the rate would differ. So accordingly, they would tell the channel that I want this commercial to be played at a certain period. And I want it only in the first break. I only want in the last break. So here, this the system, everything is defined. All I need to do is select the positioning and add it and import it. That's all that happens over here. So this is both the import wherein this agency gives you or the client sends you in individual commercials. Then you can do that manually as well, which as I showed you. So both the options are available in BOSS.
And what possibilities exist for the agencies or even the advertisement clients to book themselves directly on the system? Especially I think about last minute bookings.
No, so the agency can call up nowadays what happens, because the channels do not give the information to the agency directly. The agency has an option to send their ROs by email, by PDF, or whichever means is convenient for them, and the agency and the client import them on their behalf. The client, the agency just needs to tell them, I want this to be played at this time. That's it. And they can have either 100 commercials or 1,000 commercials. As long as the time and the date is mentioned, that can be imported into BOSS very easily.
I see. Yeah, so Peter, not to run totally out of time, we need to do a little bit, again, a jump to a next topic, what seems to be the actual linear program planning and the creation of the rundown. I think it all starts with creating a schema for the daily or weekly or yearly, let's say, layout of the TV channel's program. How is that done in BOSS?
Okay, so let's close this. So let's go to planning. See, now when you're talking about, so mostly when you talk about planning, long-term planning, you would be, it would only happen with multiple episodes, right?
Correct.
Wherein you have, like for example, you have Simpsons, which is running like say 13 episodes or 20 episodes. So let's say I have got this Simpsons. Let me take a date. Let's say from here, I'll take the first episode over here. Okay, I've got this on the 13th of December. Now, I've got a pattern over here. I'll show you the pattern over here. So I'll select recursive. I'll select the date. So now here I'm selecting a week, but I'm not, the system doesn't restrict you. You can select a month, 15 days, or month or a year as well. So I'll select the 21st. And here I've got a repeat pattern. I'll select a pattern for you, which is Monday to Friday. So I've created a pattern for me. I'll just edit this and show you. So over here, I've got a pattern for myself, so I can have multiple patterns that I need. So I've got my primary plays on Monday at 6 o'clock, and my repeat plays the same day, Monday at 8 o'clock. Similarly, I've got a primary on Tuesday and a repeat on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is my repeat. I select this pattern, and I say OK, and generate, and save. So here on the 6 o'clock, I've got my primary that's at 1. So here, if I want to know what it is, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's 0, so I'll tell you what this refers to as well. So I go to preference and setting style. So here it tells me the episode title, the episode number is the second one, exhibitions used, repeats used, and invalid reason. So this is the reason it's coming blank 0, 0, because this is unlimited. This channel has got unlimited rights. So I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 6 a.m. and the repeat is again at 8 a.m. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's say I want multiple repeats. So I'll just select one more over here. Let's go the next week. Let me just delete this. I've got one more over here with multiple repeats. I select one, recursive. Sorry. Let's select the date, 20th December to 28th. Repeats is Peter again. I've got 3 repeats over here, so I'll just edit this for you. So I've got a repeat on Monday and Tuesday. 3 repeats on Monday, 3 repeats on Tuesday. And I say, okay, I okay this, save, and I say, okay, generate, and save. So here I've got my first primary at 6. Then I've got my repeat at 12. Then again at 2. And at 6 again over here. This, if you see this multiple times, because this has been duplicated. That's the reason why you see 3 episodes over here. So then thereafter, if I look again, my primary is at 8. My repeat is at 1. Second one is at 6. And the third one is at 8. So I can do this multiple times. I can have, so I've created a Monday to Friday, I've created a weekend, I've created a pattern which says only 3 repeats on Monday and Tuesday. So you can decide as per your choice or as per the channel's choice how they want to create repeats.
So this is applicable for the series. What about a daily live event, like a news break or a magazine show in the afternoon? Is that planned the same way?
Yes, you can actually, because live events, you already know that this live event is going to happen. Very rarely there will be that, you have to do a breaking news. Nowadays, every news is breaking news, but otherwise you already plan for it. So here, if your day is planned and you want to go to schedule, you can actually replace a program with a live event. That can happen in schedule.
I see. And when we look at things like the movie, earlier we spoke about the James Bond, is there a way how I can plan, let's say, a slot that I have every week on, let's say, the Friday or the Saturday evening, where I'm planning to have a movie to be played out but not yet knowing exactly the movie, what it will be in some weeks from now. So just to have like a blocker.
Okay, so in that case, what we can do is we can have dummy programs or dummy movies.
I
So
see.
when I move to, let's say, let's show you this. So let's say I go to 10. So when I have go to schedule, that is if I have a dummy program, movie or series, so you have a dummy over here because you do not know which program is going to be played over here. So what I can do over here, I can right click this and I can say program replace. So if because this doesn't give me the option over here because I do not have any dummies. But if you in beginning you know for sure that there will be a lot of times where I'm not sure what program or movie I want to play. So I need a backup. So I need to have dummies in place which can be scheduled. And later on, all I need to do is right click and replace it. That will happen in schedule, or if you know well in advance, you can do it in planning directly. If you come to know when your planning is done and everything is sorted, your commercial, and thereafter your last minute you come to know that okay, fine, the plan needs to be changed with a good enough reason, I can just replace the program completely.
Good, understood. So could you give us a little bit on an outlook how it would, what are the next steps to complete the actual rundown, to come up something what is complete for, ready to go for the Playout systems?
So now in schedule, now once your schedule is done, okay, now in schedule, of course, you've got your commercials because the main thing is when the commercials are added. So without commercials, the channel will not get any revenue. So this is actually my schedule dashboard. On the left-hand side, you see all the headers. In the centers, you see the title as well as the segmentations. And on the right-hand side, you see all the commercials. So here, I've got my commercials, my sponsored commercials, and my book commercials. My book commercials are those that may have come from the agency or may have been entered, may have been sent by the client. And these would have a time as to where they want it placed, okay, whether they want it first, center, or last. This would have all been done at the time of booking. So I select all the commercials that are there over here. I have this button over here which says auto plot all my book commercials. I select this. It says, do you want to select book commercials only? Press no to cancel or select or to use all the spots. I say yes, I want to use all the spots. So as for the time range that is done, okay, all my good book commercials will be auto-populated in this center. I also have the option, in case something is remaining, I can always drag and drop from here. So now it tells me 31 commercials have been plotted. It will tell you one more thing. It will tell you these were not plotted because it is a back-to-back commercial. So this, what we have done, is we have configured this at the back end, where the channel can also do it at the front end, saying I do not want a back-to-back commercial, I do not want a back-to-back brand, I do not want the same promo, same program, same promo. All that information is done. So I was telling, after doing this, I still want to add one. I can just drag and drop it over here, and that is added. Of course, it's back-to-back, so I want to go shift it somewhere else. I can just drag and drop it over here.
I see.
And it's added over.
How do I deal with remaining gaps? Is the system informing me and helping me to fill them in?
Okay, so let's say now, in addition to programs, I also have your interstitials. So maybe your promos, your fillers. So I can do that as well. So let's do this for you before I show you the gap. So I select my promos. I deselect everything else. So now I just want to, I'll just show you two. Okay, I'll show you four rather. So here I've selected four, and I've got something over here which says auto plot promos. Now there are two ways I can do it. I can either do it by weightage or I can do it by count. When I say weightage, let's say when I say 100%, that means it will play on every segment. If I say 50%, it will play on alternate segments or alternate breaks. Now, if I want to do it by count, I select count over here. And I say I only want to play 20 times in the entire day. or I say I want to play it only 40 times in the entire day. So it will be as per what you have selected, it will select over here and will get applied over here in the center. Now, once I've done this, the next question was, how will the channel come to know whether it's underrun or overrun? So over here in controls, I have the footer, show footer. So right now it tells me, if you look at it over here, it's overrun, and it's overrun by duration is over here. It's overrun by 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So thereafter, what I can do is I can delete some of these. The duration is also here, so I can delete this, and your duration also change.
So for instance, you strip out some of the promos and obviously you want to keep the paid advertisement.
Yes, so you can decide. So if you do not want to, if we say like, okay, fine, this promos have to go because I have that limitation, then I can do that as well. So I just delete this, and it's come down to 35 seconds. So that's how we can do it. In case the channel says, okay, fine, it's overrun by 35 seconds, it's okay for me for the channel to overrun this, so I just delete this overrun and it will all cascade down. It will ripple down, and the next program will play 35 seconds later. That is if the channel should say okay. If not, then I delete the overruns and underruns. I delete rather the overruns, because it would not want a spot to be empty.
I see. Peter, unfortunately, we need to come to an end. I'm very, very thankful for this overview, because it's quite a bit of a large stretch and quite a lot that you cover in BOSS in terms of the all-over business process. We have been able only to pick on some of the most important topics. Thank you so much. Thank you so much as well to everyone who was joining us in this session today or in the recordings. Whenever you are now triggered and you are interested to learn more about it, please make contact with us. You can do that on the X-Dream Events platform or directly via our websites on X-Dream Group. Thank you so much, Peter, for joining me today. Thank you so much for everyone who was joining us today here in this session.
Have a wonderful day ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.